With The Walking Dead main show ending, we are getting many spin-offs with Negan, Maggie, Daryl, and Rick and Michonne, which we all are excited for. Also, we have Fear of the Walking Dead, and even with the main show ending, The Walking Dead universe is just starting and is expanding more than it's ever been. But what will happen after these spin-offs are done? In today's video, I'll be discussing the possibility of The Walking Dead having a big finale with a movie, which has all of these characters meeting and reuniting with the big Walking Dead crossover. Now, before we actually get into the video, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate the support you all are giving me, and my channel is growing, not many in subscribers, but in views. So whoever's watching this video, please hit that subscribe button. That helps a lot, and it enables me to make more Walking Dead videos. Thank you. Now, this idea for a Walking Dead movie crossover is a very exciting idea because it gives the opportunity for all of these characters to reunite finally on the big screen. Now, I do know that The Walking Dead was supposed to have a movie. The Rick and Michonne show was supposed to be a Rick Grimes movie, but because of some issues with the development and COVID and all of that, it just didn't work out. So then they just changed it to a show. But I do think that they are going to go for a movie, but they want to set everything up first. And I think that that's a really good idea for them if that is the plan. And a perfect way to put a close to these characters' stories is to have a CRM war. Now, as we all know that The Walking Dead is going into this direction, the whole universe is going to this direction where the CRM is the big bad. And I have mentioned this in my Dead City speculation video, that every spin-off, including Fear of the Walking Dead, is going to have a CRM connection. I mean, Fear of the Walking Dead already has a massive CRM connection, and of course, the main show had a big CRM connection when they, of course, took Rick, and Dead City might most likely have a CRM connection. Raise the Dead, or the Daryl Dixon spin-off, is going to have a CRM connection because in the World Beyond post-credit scene, there were running walkers. They kind of explained that walkers, they originated in France, and it was the running walkers. And World Beyond, now that we're on the topic of World Beyond, it is a full CRM show. It's all about the CRM. It explains stuff about the CRM, and it explains stuff about Jadis and all of that. So it makes sense that the Daryl Dixon show is going to be about the CRM as well. And also, of course, the Rick and Michonne show is just all purely on the CRM and Rick trying to escape the CRM. Now, I don't think that these shows are going to have one season each. I do believe that I heard a leak that Dead City is already in pre-production for its season 2, and the Daryl Dixon spinoff is most likely in pre-production for its season 2 as well. And we don't know much about The Walking Dead Summit, if that's going to have a season 2, but I did hear rumors that The Walking Dead Summit is going to have a season 2. And I don't think that they're going to put an end to these characters in the Rick and Michonne spinoff. I don't think that anyone's going to die in their spinoffs. And they're going to save all of that for the eventual movie, where they're going to cross over all these characters. We're finally going to have a Negan and Rick reunion. We're finally going to have a Daryl and Rick reunion. And assuming that no one dies in this final season of Fear the Walking Dead, it's a very good chance that we could see Morgan and other Fear characters coming into this movie as well, and just all of them going against the CRM, because, again, my theory for Fear the Walking Dead is that Morgan, by the end of it, is going to be taken by the CRM. Now, we do know that Lenny James, the actor of Morgan, did say that he will not come back, or he's just tired of the character of Morgan, or he's done with the character of Morgan. But this could be a cover-up, and he could lead everyone to think that he's gonna die, but he might get taken by the CRM, like how Rick got taken by the CRM, because Morgan is playing that role of Rick Grimes in Fear the Walking Dead. And I think it's perfect for his character to go into the CRM and finally meet Rick, and Morgan just seeing Rick's change and Rick seeing Morgan's change, and it'd just be a really cool reunion. And having these two characters meet, Morgan and Rick, it will be a really great callback, because these two have been connected in a big way and not many people notice it. These two found each other in the start of the apocalypse, or not the start of the apocalypse, but at least when Rick woke up, Morgan was the first person that Rick found, and Morgan was the one that Rick saved. And also, if you look at Fear the Walking Dead, the trailers and stuff like that, it does seem like Morgan is going back to the direction of Alexandria. He is in Atlanta as well, and they find Morgan's old house, and the whole clear signs and all of that, and even Morgan finds the gun that Rick gave him. So it's a big setup for this eventual Rick and Morgan reunion, and it'd be really cool to see other characters interact with the Walking Dead main show characters like Daryl, Negan, Michonne, Maggie. It would just be insane to look at that, because as a Walking Dead fan, that's the one thing I really want to see. I don't want to see any of these characters die in their spin-off. Even though it seems like this is the chance for the characters to die in their spin-off, I don't see that happening. I see that there's going to be a movie, and maybe 2-3 movies, might be a trilogy, and it's just going to be called The Walking Dead movie, or just The Walking Dead, and them finally putting a close to the CRM story. And now the main villain of this movie is up for debate, but I believe it's either Major General Beale or Jadis. Now, assuming that the Rick and Michonne show the main villain is Major General Beale, it could be possible that after General Beale, when Rick and Michonne try escaping, Jadis assumes the position of leadership in the CRM. But if it's the other way around, and if Jadis ends up dying in the Rick and Michonne spinoff, probably she turns good and she tries helping out Rick, tries helping him escape, and then she gets killed. So, Major General Beale will kind of be like the Thanos of the Walking Dead universe. Comparing this to the MCU is kind of weird, but, you could see that they're doing world building like in MCU style, and they're trying to have this big crossover going on. So, it's pretty fair to compare it to the MCU. And I do think that Major General Beale is going to be the big bad of the Walking Dead universe. And also, for those who watched Fear the Walking Dead, people think that Victor Strand is going to show up in the Rick and Michonne spinoff. Now, the reasoning for that is that in season 11, when Rick got captured by the helicopter at the end, when the helicopter came down and started talking to him, and people compared the voice that was coming from the helicopter to be Victor Strand, and it actually sounds like Victor Strand, to be honest. And so if that's the case, if Victor Strand is in the CRM, right, and this Fear the Walking Dead time jump within that time, like Victor, he ended up in the CRM, or he's in some high positioning rank, it would be pretty cool to see Victor Strand kind of being the Loki of these movies, of for Major General Beale, right? Or if Victor Strand changes and then he becomes one of the good guys, because he's a pretty complex character. And I actually didn't watch Fear all that much, so I really don't know much about the Fear characters except for Morgan and Dwight and Victor. But if any of you want to tell me more about this character, please comment down below. But yeah, this is just another theory that came up in my head. And now let's talk about how this will play out, because that's probably the number one question in everyone's head. How is this crossover going to play out? How is everyone going to meet each other? Now, of course, the whole CRM connection is explanational enough, right? All of these spin-offs have a CRM connection. Fear the Walking Dead has a CRM connection. Rick and Michonne shows all but the CRM. Raise the Dead, it has a big CRM connection. And Dead City is the only one that everyone has a doubt in that it could have a CRM connection, but I do believe that it has a CRM connection. So again, you could see at the end of these spin-offs that either they have a happy ending, no one dies and everyone gets out of there without a scratch, and then they make it back to Alexandria. Even by the end of Fear the Walking Dead, it looks like Morgan is going to Alexandria as well, right? So then Rick and Michonne, they could probably end up back in Alexandria. Negan and Maggie, they could go back to Alexandria, and Daryl could go back to Alexandria as well. And then that would be a good time for the CRM to invade Alexandria, probably take over Alexandria, right? And that could be the first movie, right? Or another instance could be that these spin-offs end up with the CRM taking the characters. So what do I mean by that? So by the end of whenever the hell Dead City is going to end, probably in its second season, it's in its third season, whenever Dead City is coming to an end, I think Negan and Maggie might get captured by the CRM, right? Daryl, he's probably going to be helicoptered back to America, right? He might go back to America and then get captured by the CRM there. And Rick and Michonne might just stay at the CRM. They might not have any way out. Who knows? Or probably one of them end up dying. But I don't see them wanting to kill off both of those characters, because they've been anticipated to come back for so long and have that reunion with these characters. So I don't see Rick and Michonne dying before any sort of reunion. Now, another likely scenario on how these reunions will play out is that every character does not know that Rick is still alive. And what do I mean by that? I think that Daryl and Carol probably held off that Rick is still alive, and those two just know, and Judith. Now, I don't think that's likely. It's because Daryl stayed at the Commonwealth / Alexandria for a whole year, and then he went to look for Rick. I don't see them, not even mentioning that Rick Grimes is even alive. So, again, you could throw that out of the picture. Now let's get a little crazy with the theories. Now let's just say that Rick and Michonne, they end up escaping the CRM in the Walking Dead Summit, or their own spin-off. Now, they make it back to Alexandria, then everyone finds out some way that Daryl is in France and he's being captured. So that could be a way that everyone could go and look for Daryl. We could have the CRM war, right? And the CRM war, like what many people don't think about is that the CRM war is going to be a bloodbath, right? It's going to be a bloodbath, and also the characters will have a fighting chance. Why? It's because they have the Commonwealth Army now. And I know that's not much compared to the CRM army when it comes to skill or when it comes to numbers, but still, they do have an army. It's not like you could just have like one group just going and infiltrating the CRM and just taking them down. That's just not possible, right? They've done many crazy things in this universe before, in the series before, but I don't think they're gonna go that far. They're gonna need the Commonwealth Army with them. And again, that goes into my next theory, that there is going to be a CRM war, right? That'll be the whole basis of this movie. Major General Beale is going to be the big bad. He's going to be the one that's instructing the CRM army. And Ezekiel and Mercer are going to be instructing the Commonwealth Army, because Mercer is, I believe, the head of the army now. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I didn't rewatch season 11. And also, I think that they might give Rick a position of leader, right, for the whole army, right? If Mercer and Rick are working together to instruct the Commonwealth Army during that war, it would just be insane. And also, Rick would also know how Major General Beale works, how he thinks, how he conducts his army. So again, Rick could have that one up on him. Now, when it comes to character deaths, this is the place to kill off these characters. As much as I love these characters, as much as I love Negan, as much as I love Rick and Daryl, this is the place and the moment to kill them off, right? This is the final moments of these characters. I really hope that they don't do that, but at least I think that if they want to bring a full closure to Rick Grimes' story and actually do something meaningful with his death, unlike the comics, he did have a meaningful death, but it just came out of nowhere, right? Sebastian just killed Rick. Spoiler alert, sorry about that. But if Rick dies in this position of a CRM war and eventually, just sacrificing himself for everyone, or Negan sacrificing himself for everyone, I think that Negan got redeemed way back in season 10 when he took out Alpha, right? And I always loved Negan's character. This could be a biasty of mine, but if you don't think that Negan got redeemed before, this is the moment to fully redeem Negan, to give him a sacrificing role. Or Daryl might be able to sacrifice himself like how Rick kind of sacrificed himself in season 9. Technically he didn't die, but Daryl could be in that position of sacrificing himself and actually getting killed off. And it's sad to think about that, because again, all these characters are having their spin-offs, so this movie is far away. But just thinking about these characters and their story coming to a closure in a movie, again, that would be better than killing them off alone in their own spin-offs, right? I don't want to see Negan dying in Dead City. I don't want to see Rick dying in Summit, nor I want to see Daryl dying in Raise of the Dead. Now, Daryl's death seems like the most unlikely one. I think that Rick and Negan's death are more likely in their own spin-offs, but I hope that they go with this route of the movie and having these reunions first and then having these major characters get killed off, because again, season 11, everyone thought that there was going to be a major death, and Rosita is a big death, but it's not series finale type death. It's not like the end all death, right? So I think that they're saving these major deaths for the real finale for these characters. Now, it's kind of hard to say when is this movie going to release. I really don't know that. It just depends how long they want to stretch out these spin-offs, but I think that each spin-off is at least going to have 2 seasons each. And then, if you put into consideration that the Fear characters are going to have their own spin-offs, like Morgan and Madison and Victor and Dwight, right? If they're going to have their spin-offs, then I could see this movie coming out probably like around in the next 4 or 5 years, right? And probably more. And this estimate of 4 or 5 years is the least amount of time we have to wait. Probably there's going to be more, and they want to flesh out these characters even more. They want to set this CRM war up. But I think that they've been delaying the whole CRM thing enough, and they should really get to the reunions. They really should get to this whole big CRM story. Now, I have a theory on how the CRM war is going to play out, right? And this is the most realistic possibility, is that they're going to invade the Commonwealth. And we did see the CRM in World Beyond, infiltrating other groups, like other communities, and just letting walkers loose in those communities after, having deals with them and stuff like that. And I think the Commonwealth is up next on their list. So I think that because of Lance Hornsby's death, this is gonna backfire. And I've said this in my Dead City video as well, that Lance's death is going to backfire on this group somehow. And I think that this might be the whole basis of the movie, that the CRM war is all about the CRM trying to invade the Commonwealth. And then, this could be the running walkers, right? They could find a way to open the Commonwealth doors and just let the running walkers loose. Now, I know that this video is all over the place. Again, all my videos are unscripted. I don't have a script for any of my videos. So I know that this video is a little long, but this idea of a Walking Dead movie crossover is really exciting, and I really want to see these Fear characters and World Beyond characters and just the main characters just all coming together and just going up against the CRM. And later on I might make a video on a more fleshed out theory on the CRM more. I just gotta think about it a little more. But if you guys like the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down if you guys like the theory, if you guys want to add anything upon the theory. And yeah, I really do appreciate the support you all are giving me. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate the views I'm getting really fast, right? Especially on the Dead City video. And if you guys like this video, or if you guys liked any other video on my channel, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. But other than that, thank you for watching.